In the rugged hills of Hodgenville, Kentucky, a child was born into a humble log cabin on February 12, 1809. That child was Abraham Lincoln, destined to become one of the greatest leaders in American history. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, were hard-working pioneers who instilled in their son the values of honesty, integrity, and a thirst for knowledge. From an early age, Lincoln showed remarkable intelligence and compassion. Despite the scarcity of educational resources on the frontier, he eagerly sought out knowledge from every source available, including borrowed books, scraps of newspapers, and the stories shared by travelers passing through the area. He would often walk miles just to borrow a book, and his love for reading and learning would stay with him throughout his life. As a young man, Lincoln moved to Illinois, where he began his career as a lawyer and entered the world of politics. It was during this time that he witnessed the injustices of slavery firsthand. He encountered enslaved individuals who had escaped to the free states seeking refuge and heard their harrowing tales of suffering and oppression. Lincoln was deeply disturbed by the cruelty of slavery and the way it contradicted the ideals upon which the nation was founded. In 1860, Lincoln was elected as the 16th President of the United States, becoming the first Republican president. His election sparked outrage in the southern states, which had economies heavily dependent on slave labor. Within months, 7 southern states seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America and igniting the Civil War. Lincoln faced the greatest challenge of his presidency, preserving the Union and ending the institution of slavery. He knew that the country could not continue to exist as a democracy while upholding the practice of enslaving human beings. Despite facing enormous pressure and criticism, Lincoln remained steadfast in his resolve. In 1863, after the Union's victory at the Battle of Antietam, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were to be set free. This monumental executive order fundamentally changed the nature of the Civil War, transforming it from a conflict over states' rights into a struggle for human freedom. Throughout the war, Lincoln displayed remarkable leadership and compassion. He visited wounded soldiers on the battlefield, offering words of comfort and encouragement. He listened to the concerns of ordinary citizens and took their voices into account when making decisions. And he never lost sight of his ultimate goal, to create a more perfect union, where every person was treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their race or background. Lincoln's leadership was tested again in 1863, when he delivered the Gettysburg Address, one of the most famous speeches in American history. Standing on the battlefield where thousands had lost their lives, Lincoln eloquently captured the essence of American democracy, proclaiming that the nation was dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. After 4 long years of bloodshed, the Civil War finally came to an end in 1865 with the surrender of Confederate forces. Lincoln's vision of a united and free nation had been realized, but at a tremendous cost. Tragically, just days after the war's conclusion, Lincoln's life was cut short when he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. His death shocked the nation and plunged it into mourning. But Lincoln's legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to continue the fight for equality and justice. Today, he is remembered as the great emancipator, a man whose courage, compassion, and unwavering commitment to freedom transformed the course of American history. His words and deeds continue to inspire people around the world to strive for a better, more just society, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, hope and perseverance can prevail.